All right, welcome to Survive to Thrive, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I have 5 key points that I want to share with you today. I'm going to share those first, and then we're going to get to the conversation. So the first thing is the big why that never changes. Please write it down. Number 2 is being obsessed with success. The third bullet point that I'm going to talk on today is killer instinct. Number 4 is comparing yourself with other people. And number 5 is finite versus infinite. So I'm going to start out by sharing a passage with you from Relentless. If you haven't read the book, please read it. I think I'm reading it for the second time. Uh, it's more than once, and really good book. Now, here's what I have to share with you. So you cannot understand what it means to be relentless until you have struggled. Remember, words matter, everybody. Really pay attention to the words here. You know, what does struggling mean to you? Until you have struggled to possess something that's just out of your reach over and over. As soon as you touch it, it moves further away. But something inside you that killer instinct that makes you keep going, reaching until you finally grab it and fight with all your might to keep holding on. Anyone can take what's sitting right in front of them. Anyone can take what's sitting right in front of them. I want you to think back to 2021 when the market was red hot and we were all selling lots of homes. Your phone was ringing. People were calling you because they wanted to buy a home, wanted to sell a home, or knew somebody that wanted to buy a home or sell a home. And then all of a sudden, it's a couple of years later, and somebody put the brakes on. And 2024, we've sold fewer homes in the United States than we have in the past 35 years. Those deals that are just sitting right in front of us that come to us, you get those come list me's, those no longer exist. And all of a sudden you find yourself in a market where nothing's sitting right in front of you. You got to go out and get it. Not only do you have to go out and get it, but you have to fight for it. Anyone can take what's sitting right in front of them. Only when you're truly relentless can you understand the determination to keep pursuing a target that never stops moving. All right, so let's talk about the first bullet point here. The big why that never changes. The big why that never changes is a constant pursuit of growth. It's a constant pursuit of perfection. It's a constant pursuit of being absolutely the best at what you do. When that is your big why, this goes to the infinite game versus the finite game. You're playing an infinite game because you're in search of place that you're never going to reach. You're okay with that because you know that your focus is constant improvement. It's not a destination that you can arrive at. And that's a good thing because what would happen if you did? I mean, the only thing that you accomplish by climbing to the top of the mountain is a better view of the next journey. If you're on a journey with a destination that does not exist, then you are constantly improving, never arriving at that destination. Now, very few people are going to take this path. Very, very few people are going to take this path because most of us are good with good enough. You know, Jim Collins talks about in his book, Good to Great, that good is the enemy of great. And the reason there are so many good companies in the United States is because there's so few great ones. The reason there's so many good real estate agents is because there are so few great ones, because most of us are just fine with good enough. Think about the last time you went out to dinner and the manager stopped by your table to check in on you. Did they ask you, are you having an amazing time? Is everything as good as it can possibly be? Or did they ask you, is everything okay? Well, they asked you, is everything okay? And do you run out and tell your friends, you got to go to this restaurant, man? Everything was okay. The food was okay. The service was okay. The atmosphere was okay. No, of course you don't. Your customers also don't run out and tell their friends that they sold their home. They worked with a real estate agent who was okay. How was your agent? Oh, they were okay. Oh man, can I get their name? I want to work with them. No, you've got to be in a constant pursuit of perfection. You want to be absolutely the best you can. That's a why that'll never change. All right, bullet point number two, being obsessed with success. To me, being obsessed with success means that I am persistent. I am persistent without exception. From Andy Andrews' book, The Traveler's Gift, the seventh decision is persistence, and he says, "Today I choose to persist without exception." The key words in that statement is without exception. Everybody persists until they don't. If you talk to somebody and they'll tell you, well, I'm persistent, challenge them with, are you persistent until you're not? Or are you persistent without exception? Being persistent without exception means that you don't hear no. No is not a word that lives in your vocabulary, so no simply means not yet. You understand that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information, and you're going to stay in that fight until you've found a way to provide them with that new information so they can make a new decision. It's persistence without exception. No longer will I live in a dimension of distraction, my focus blown hither and yon like a leaf on a blustery day. I know the outcome I desire. I hold fast to my dreams. I stay the course. I do not quit. I will persist without exception. I will continue despite exhaustion. Now, this is not something that happens in a year. It's not something that happens in a career. It's not something that happens in a month, in a week. It happens in all of those areas, but it also happens every day. At the end of the day, when you stop before you've done all you can do in order to achieve your goals, then you haven't persisted without exception. All I can do is all I can do, and when I all I can do is all I can do, and when I do all I can do, all I can do is enough. All I can do is all I can do. And when I do, all I can do, all I can do is enough. So at the end of the day, you simply ask yourself, did I do all I can do? There was absolutely nothing left in the tank. Nothing. Then the answer to the question is, did you win the day? Of course you did. You won the day regardless of the results because you did all you can do. You live to your standards. When you set a standard, it means this is what I'm going to do today, and it's non-negotiable. I'm going to have 20 conversations. I'm going to book 2 appointments, whichever comes last. Now, at the end of the day, if I did all I can do, I'm going to have 20 conversations. I'm going to book 2 appointments because I choose whether or not I succeed. Success is a choice. Success is a choice because only you can decide when you're going to stop. So if success is a choice, then so is failure. So the question is, are you choosing success or are you choosing failure? Most people choose failure. Now, you have to understand, to me, and don't get offended. If I haven't already offended you, I guess I'm probably going to. But mediocrity is failure to me. Anything less than massive success is failure. And I choose mediocrity when I choose to settle. If you ask me, John, what's your biggest frustration? I would tell you people settle. People settle for less than they can do. We all do. All right, the third thing that I want to talk to you about today is killer instinct. Having killer instinct is that ability to put your foot on the throat, to know that things are going well. I'm doing really well. I just had an amazing week. I just had an amazing month. And I'm just going to keep my foot on that gas pedal, full speed ahead. We're on this bus together. We're going around the corners at 50 miles an order, at 50 miles an hour, and just hang on because I'm not taking my foot off the gas. How many listings are enough? As many as you can get. Is there a number that's too much? Absolutely not. The only thing you need to do in order to take more listings is add more leverage. And if you're in a real estate market where 1 out of 3 listings is selling every month and you want to close one sale, well, you only need 3 listings. If you're in a market where 1 out of 10 listings is selling every month and you want to close 5 sales a month, you're going to need 50 listings. How many of you have a challenge with that? 50 listings? John, are you kidding? No, I'm not. If that's what it takes to hit your goals, and that's what it's going to take, you have a killer instinct that will not allow you to take your foot off the gas. If you take your foot off the gas and just coast a little bit because things are going well, you're going to end up riding the real estate roller coaster where you're busy 1 month and the next thing you know, you look up and there's nothing happening. And then people will say things like, well, it's time to get back to lead generation. And the question is, no. So multitasking is not my thing. I'm reading the chat and totally got off track there. Megan, the video will be on YouTube, but no, we're not live. Okay. You're never going to take your foot off the gas because there is no enough. You never get to a point where you have enough business. You have that killer instinct. All right, the last thing on my list today is one more thing on, we had 2 more things, sorry. So number 4 is comparing yourself with other people. Average people compare themselves to other people. That's why they're average. Don't compare yourselves to other people. The only person that you're in a competition with is yourself. Compete at a game at such a high level that other people don't even know there's a competition. If you're in pursuit of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being complete and ultimate failure and 10 being massive success, the only thing you're focused on is 10. You won't stop until you achieve it. Go back to the first goal, the big why that never changes, the ultimate pursuit of perfection. That's 10. It's a destination that you'll never arrive at. And remember, you don't want to arrive at this destination because if you do, now what? Don't be average. Don't compare yourselves to other people. If you compare yourselves to other people, you'll be average. All right, number 5, finite versus infinite. If you're playing a finite game, then you're playing a game that can be won or lost. Now, the question to you is, what do you do when you win? Now what? If you're playing an infinite game, then you're playing a game that has no destination. It has no ending. There's not a winner and a loser. It is a constant pursuit of a goal that is so big that is ultimately unachievable. wrapping it up. 2025 is right around the corner. The first quarter of 2025 is, for the most part, already decided. What you did in October and November and the 14 days you have left in December are ultimately going to determine what your first quarter looks like. Now, if you're already behind where you want to be for your goals in 2025, then double down, get laser focused, work with urgency as if your life depended on it, and make every day the absolute best you can do. Remember, all you could do, I'll say it slower for those of you who wanted to write it down. All you could do is all you could do. And when you do, all you could do is enough. All I can do is all I can do. And all I can do is enough when I do all I can do. So all you could do for the next 14 days is absolutely everything you can do. So at the end of the day, simply ask yourself the question, did I do all I can do? Right. Talk to me, guys.
There's a little bit more I can do, but I'm pretty well set up for Q1.
Way to go, Matthew. That does not surprise me a bit, by the way. Knowing Matthew, the little bit that I do, that does not surprise me a bit.
Well, I'm not perfection like Matt, and I always seem to have many days where I question, did I spend my time wisely? I mean, I think we got to have these days where it's like, should I have not focused on that, but focused on this? And I didn't get what I needed done. So, um, certainly, it's always a constant battle to figure that one out.
Well, so here's the question. What's the one thing that I can do that I am currently not doing? That if I were to start doing it today, it would move me closer to my goals.
This is Sean. My answer to that question is to start. I've gotten to the point where I can start farming things out, meaning an assistant, transaction coordinator, all of those things, so I can stop doing the things that, frankly, I don't like to do, which is create the listing and fill all that stuff out. I don't want to be doing that. I want to be focusing on getting more business, not handling the mundane things of the business that I have.
Well, it's the 80-20 rule, Sean. You should always, and this goes back to what Brian said as well. When you're looking at how you spend your time, you always start with the 20%. Ideally, you're working in a day where 90% of your time, 90% of your effort goes into the 20% that create results. You don't have to be great at everything. I pretty much suck at everything except for lead generation and going on appointments. I'm really, really good at those two things. Really, really good at lead generation, focused on seller listings and going on listing appointments and taking seller listings. But if you ask me a question about anything else, my answer is going to be, I don't know. It's not my thing. Find out what your one thing is, master that.
Well, and I think it's so easy to get distracted in this world, right? It's so easy to look at Instagram, watch a YouTube video, and even if you figure out how to get rid of the 80% you don't want to do and you're left with the 20, there's always distractions in life. And I think your topic today is very meaningful about staying focused, having the goals, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. And just a good reminder every day.
That's right, Brian. That's right. Alrighty, guys, I've got 9:28. So for the chat, yes, these videos are on YouTube. This one will be on YouTube before the day is over. I'm catching up on some videos from last week, guys. So if you're waiting on a video, it's coming, I promise. And I will be caught up before the day is over. For those of you who were first timers with us today, thank you so much for being here. For those of you who invited your friends to attend, thank you for doing that. Keep spreading the word. Let's keep growing the group. This is a massively successful group. I mean, we have major production here. Anyema, so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Thank
Hey,
you.
hey, John, I have a challenge for tomorrow for everybody.
Let's do it.
Let's break 50 tomorrow. Everybody bring a friend.
I like that.
That's right. That's right.
It's good stuff.
I'm on board, guys. So make it a great day, everybody. Go get them.
Thanks,
Yeah.
John.
Good one.
Thanks, John.
My pleasure.